Australia, a land of sun, surf, and ancient mysteries. But far away from the golden beaches, deep within the heart of the New South Wales outback, lies a town called Junee. And in that town sits a house that locals refuse to look at after sunset. This is the Monte Cristo Homestead. Built in 1885, it is officially recognized as the most haunted location in Australia. But why? Is it just old wood and wind, or is there something trapped within its walls? The history of this house is written in blood. The original owners, the Crawley family, ruled this land with an iron fist. After the death of Mr. Crawley, his wife, Elizabeth, became a recluse. She spent the next 23 years locked in the upstairs drawing room, reading the Bible. They say her presence never left, but she wasn't the only one. The stories of Monte Cristo aren't just ghost tales. They are documented tragedies. There was the young maid who fell from the balcony. Legend says she was pregnant with Mr. Crawley's child and was pushed to her death. To this day, the blood stain on the steps below refuses to be washed away. It turns a dark, rusty red every time it rains. Then there was the stable boy. He was burned alive in his sleep when someone set his straw bed on fire. And perhaps the most tragic, Harold, a mentally ill man who was kept chained in the dairy shed for nearly 40 years. Passers-by would hear the sound of his chains clinking in the dark, a sound that many claim still echoes through the property at 3 a.m. In 2014, a group of 3 paranormal investigators, Mark, Sarah, and Tom, decided to spend the night. They didn't believe in the curse. By sunrise, they would be changed forever. As the clock struck midnight, the trio set up their gear in the upstairs drawing room. The air was unnaturally still. Suddenly, the temperature dropped. Their thermal cameras showed a massive purple void in the center of the room. A cold spot so intense it froze the water in their bottles. Sarah shrieked. She felt a phantom hand wrap around her throat. When she looked in the mirror, red welts, the shape of long, bony fingers, were forming on her neck. Mark turned his camera toward the hallway. In the grainy night vision footage, a tall figure in a black lace dress was standing at the end of the corridor. It wasn't moving. It was just watching. Every time they blinked, the figure was a few inches closer. Thump, thump, thump. Heavy footsteps on the floorboards, but the figure remained perfectly still. Terrified, they fled the main house, thinking they would be safer in the open air. They sought refuge in the old dairy shed, the place where Harold had been chained for decades. The moment they stepped inside, the heavy iron door slammed shut behind them. There was no handle on the inside. From the darkest corner of the shed, a low, guttural growl emerged. It didn't sound human. Mark's flashlight flickered and died. In the strobe-like flashes of the failing light, they saw it, a shadow, hunched and twisted, crawling along the ceiling. "Please," Tom screamed. "We're leaving! We're sorry!" The clinking of the chains became deafening. It felt like the walls were closing in. Suddenly, a voice, raspy and dry as the outback dust, whispered right into Mark's ear. "You're late for your treatment." By some miracle, the door flew open. They ran for their car, not looking back at the house that seemed to be glowing with an eerie white light from every window. They made it back to the city, but the nightmare didn't end there. When Mark reviewed the audio recording from that night, he found something that chilled him to the bone. For the entire 8 hours they were in the house, there was a steady, rhythmic sound in the background of the recording. When he sped it up, he realized what it was. It was a heartbeat, a slow, massive heartbeat that matched the pulse of the house itself. And at the very end of the tape, long after they had left the property, a voice was heard on the recorder, a voice that sounded exactly like Mark's own voice, saying, "I think I left a part of myself back there." To this day, Mark refuses to speak about that night. Some say the people who visit Monte Cristo don't really leave. They leave a shadow behind, trapped in the frequency of the house, waiting for the next visitor to arrive. So if you ever find yourself driving through the Australian outback and you see a grand house on a hill, keep driving, because in Monte Cristo, the past isn't just a memory, it's a predator.